that people have been sold in terms of the health is flawed. Okay, and I'll go through each layer. I just need to have a look at it. But essentially, it's a circle. I'm going to go through the layers and then I'll show it again. So he basically guided to me that that was flawed. It was based on evil intentions and it had nothing to do with health and wellness. And the emphasis was on food and we forgot everything else. So what do I mean by that? Diet is an ancient Greek word that was penned by Hippocrates, who said, let medicine be thy food and food thy medicine. He also said nature itself is the best medicine, and that the mind has the healing power to heal us. So diet means a way of life. Okay, so if anybody is speaking to you about health or diet in terms of just food, they have no idea what the word means. Okay, I wouldn't even begin to start to listen to them. Okay, because diet has all these components that I'm about to go through. So the first thing I wanted to alert people to is it is colored. Okay, it's colored in the colors of our chakras. Okay, so each of our chakra also has a different color, which vibrates on a different vibrational frequency. Okay, so first of all, what I'm alerting to is that it's important that we eat colored fruit and vegetables in the color of our chakra colors. Okay, and depending on where you have a block, you focus on that colored food. So the first thing in my circle in the center is the spirit. As I said before, we are spirit. And I have the infinity sign, which is what the ancient Greeks used to say that the spirit never dies. Okay, our body goes, but the spirit then goes into another vehicle. So they believed that it was infinite. Okay, our life does not end.
Like
Sorry?
Reincarnation,
Yes.
you're talking about? They believe in that? Okay.
Yes, absolutely. And also Plutarch went so far as to say, and this is one of the reasons why many ancient Greek philosophers, those people, astronomers, the ones with the great minds that Socrates, Sophocles, Hippocrates, all the people that we speak about today, they were all vegetarians and or vegans, okay? They did not eat meat. And the reason why they did not eat meat or seafood or any of that is because they knew that even animals have spirits. And when animals depart and they're on they can come into the form of a three-dimensional human being. So in effect, they felt that they could be eating an ancestor or a person, so avoided that. And it also clouded their connection to Creator God, and it does. People that eat a lot of meat, seafood, in other words, people that eat a lot of death, okay, cannot fully connect to the Creator God to receive creativity and wisdom. And this is one of the reasons why the ancient Greeks were able to get all this wonderful information about healing downloaded to them, because one component, the food, was, they paid attention to that. The second layer of my circle, so spirit, is energy. Basically saying we're energy. Everything is energy. Everything is vibrating. It's just that we're not ascended enough to actually see it. But as you ascend in frequency, you can actually begin to start to hear the vibration of food and other things. Okay, that comes with increasing your vibration. The third one is Agapi, which is everything is centered around unconditional love. So everything that we eat has got to come from a loving place. Every thought that we think, our prayers, everything needs to be done with Agapi, with joy, because Agapi is the highest vibrational frequency, and good music to listen to that emanates at that frequency is 432 hertz. Okay, so great music to be listening to if you want to ascend. The next layer is therapy. So as part of the diet, we need to practice therapies to heal the mind, body, and spirit. Now, what do I mean by therapy? Therapies in ancient Greece was close to anything. Aromatherapy, so essential oils, they incorporated to increase vibrational frequency. Music therapy, number therapy. Pythagoras especially said everything is numbers. Everything is coded and in numbers, and every number has a vibrational frequency. They also incorporated salt therapy, oxygen therapy, light therapy, color therapy. So are you getting the flow? There's just so many therapies that were practiced as part of the diet. Okay, a diet is incomplete unless you practice these therapies to help with whatever illness you have. So, for example, when I had 3/4 of my left lung removed, and I had asthma and so on, I found salt therapy was beneficial. It's very beneficial in terms of people with sinuses, lung conditions, and it's where you go and just sit in a salt room and, you know, just basically take in the salt, inhale it. So that was something that Hippocrates practiced.
Do you
Yeah.
use the Himalayan salts at all? Do you have them around your house, or are those beneficial to us?
Yes, especially the ones that actually have a light. So
Uh-huh.
therefore, it helps in sort of emitting some of that into the atmosphere and having that close by. Absolutely, that's beneficial. But for anybody that is really extreme in terms of lung issues, asthma, and so on, as I was, what was even more beneficial was to go into a salt room. So that is a room with blocks of salt, and then they shoot salt into the atmosphere so that you breathe it in, and that was extremely beneficial. So, in other words, therapies are important to complement what we eat. That is part of the diet, okay? So, another component of the diet, ancient Greek diet, is prayer, meditation, and gratitude. You can also call those therapy. So, in other words, as part of my healing, and also to lift my vibrational frequency and to get to Agapi and peace, because peace is what we all want, peace and joy. For me, every day, prayer and meditation is very important, and gratitude. I mean, I have to tell you, it's I pick up, my cup of coffee or my cup of tea or whatever, and the first thing I'll say is I'm thankful and grateful for this beautiful cup of tea or coffee. I'm thankful and grateful for this beautiful, sun that's coming into, my room at the moment. What people don't realize, if you have a gratitude of attitude, it begins to heal your body and it begins to bring miracles. There's always something to be grateful for. Even when I was really sick for years in hospital, I always found something to be grateful for, even if it was something that I could see outside my hospital window, you know, distracting my mind away. So the next layer in terms of the diet is high vibration food. So this is where the food component is coming in now, and we can talk about what that is in a minute. High vibration food. Water, we're not talking about tap water. That is low vibration. It has a lot of chemicals and a lot of fluoride. And what that does is it damages the pineal gland. Not only that, it is a contributor to cancer and a lot of other illnesses, okay? I'm talking about mineral water, spring water, or if you've treated your water with reverse osmosis. Okay, that's the most effective way to treat water before you drink tap water. So in that high vibration food, water, air is very important. That's a therapy we needed. Clean air, sun, and of course our thoughts, our mind. Now, in relation to sun, been misled to believe that sun is not good for us. That's not correct. We need sun, not just for vitamin D, but in terms of to declassify and purify our pineal gland, but also in terms of we are energy. It recharges our batteries, okay? Just like it recharges plants to grow, so that we have something to eat, it does the same thing for us. It recharges our DNA, it recharges our crystals, because essentially we are made of over 70% water, okay? And water has crystals. And people forget that. People forget we're water. So that's why it responds to vibration. It's like putting a glass of water next to music, playing music and seeing it vibrate. That's what happens to our bodies. Same thing. Same. And the final thing on this is movement and sleep. So basically, some sort of exercise. You know, as Hippocrates said, if we could give everybody the right amount of nourishment and exercise, we will have, one of the perfect formulas for health as well. So that is the diet, all those components. Okay, so when you look at the triangle, which is the one that the, um,
FDA
food
out there. Yeah.
it's just about food, and then they have meat there, and they have, uh, um, carbohydrates, fruit and vegetables, fats. But they're not telling you that all this needs to be high vibration. What do I mean by that? First of all, we need to be eating food as our grandparents did and the ancient Greeks did, which is really no chemicals, no pesticides, and GMOs. Okay, so they're not even making that distinction. Then they're not.
Nobody's doing that anymore, though. I mean, most of the food that we grow, even what is certified organic, has a certain amount of chemicals grown into it just because we've got bad soil.
Absolutely, but at least they're not putting it on there. Okay,
Okay.
so I agree with what you say, but the majority of the chemicals of a plant, when you compare conventional to organic, is on it. The animals is a little bit different because, of course, they consume it. Okay, so I always say to a lot of people, don't be fooled by grass fed. Okay, because and restaurants use this to rip you off for extra money. I mean, I've worked in the restaurant game. I've seen all the tricks. I mean, not that I have meat now, but when I used to have meat and I went to a restaurant, I'd say, that's fantastic that you have on the menu grass fed, but is it grass finished? And they couldn't answer it. If they can't answer that question, do you know what that means? Don't buy it. They're feeding it genetically modified soy, or some sort of crap like that, or canola to fatten it up.
Right. Yeah. And then all the hormones and everything that they're treating the beef and the cattle and everything, the chickens even with, are not good. I mean, growth hormones themselves, I have been able to tell from the time I was a little girl that there's a lot more growth hormone now in the food because young girls are developing at a much faster and younger rate than they ever did before. And I suspect that's partially or highly due to the growth hormones that they're putting in the beef and then we're consuming.
Absolutely, and men are developing breasts. I mean, how is that normal?
No, it's not. Not normal at
Exactly.
all. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. And I always say to people that I can appreciate some people saying to me, Maria, I can't go organic 100%. It's expensive. But I view it this way. I always said to people, we can either invest in our health now, or we can invest in it later on in taking tablets and visiting the doctor and so on. Or B, what you can do is go onto the Environmental Working Group. Their website lists the top 15 fruit and vegetables which have the most pesticides. And I say, don't buy those. Buy those at least organic. Okay. And then they have a list of the 15 least fruit and veggies that have the least amount of pesticides. And then maybe buy those conventional. I'm just trying to think of a balancing act. But in any case, what I also say to people is that really what I found when I went away from a conventional diet and went to an organic one, I eat less. You know why? Because my body's getting the nutrition with less,
Okay.
and so I don't have to eat as much. Whereas people that are having conventional food find that they have to eat a lot more of it to get the nutrition. And the reason why they're craving more is because the body's saying, I haven't received enough vitamin C, I haven't received enough vitamin K, vitamin B, therefore eat more, eat more. And that's where the overeating happens.
I'd often heard that your body will develop cravings for certain things based on some of the nutrients or the vitamins that it is missing. People often mistake those for munchies or something else, but it's really your body telling you, I need to be fed. So let's talk a minute about what you said about our bodies when we consume some of the worst food that our bodies need to consume that much more. What about when we cook and microwave our foods?
Oh dear. Okay. So that's what, yeah. So that goes back. Excellent question. Thank you so much for that question. Brilliant. So I mentioned that we need to be eating predominantly. Really, we should be eating 100% high vibrational food. But in this world at the moment, it is not possible because they've contaminated most things, and most stuff in the supermarket, in any case, is low vibration. So high vibration, we mean as much as possible raw and as close to nature. Okay, so plants as opposed to manufacturing plant. Okay, so anything made in a manufacturing plant is low vibration. Also, anything cooked becomes lowers the vibration. Why? Because as soon as we cook a lot of vegetables and herbs, we kill the enzymes. And the enzymes are what our body also needs for us to have good gut health. And as Hippocrates said, all disease begins in the gut. So you usually find people that have a lot of gut issues or a lot of brain issues because the gut and the brain are connected. Then they're eating too much cooked food or too much microwave food. Now, microwave food, I won't even go near. And please be aware, a lot of restaurants are microwaving your food and not letting you know. They pre-cook it and then they microwave it. So always ask them before you order, has this been microwaved? Why do I say that? Because the moment something is put in a microwave, it destroys all the DNA, and probably there's been a lot of studies that say from 90 to 100% of the nutritional value, the nutrients that your body need, they die, they're killed. Basically, that's what a microwave does. It radiates the food, and it may cook it really quickly for you, but you're getting no benefit to your body.
So you are essentially having to eat 90 times the amount of microwave food to get even the most minimal amount of nutrition out of it. And
That's
that's
a great
impossible.
way of putting it. And it's not an accident that these evil people started the whole microwave trend. Dinners in front of the TV, microwave your food. This is why a lot of people we're getting sick.
Mm.
Convenience, but what do? You're putting death into your body. Nothing. You may as well just not eat it and throw it out. You'd get more nutrition out of having one apple than having that meal.
So with the microwave doing that to our food, what does it do to the atmosphere around the outside in our kitchen? Am I walking into my kitchen and getting radiating myself every time the microwave's on?
Absolutely, it emits, and this is why my friends laughed at me because they came to my place once and just opened the microwave, and they said, Maria, what's this in here? Oh, I said, it's all my chef's knives. They said, but why do you store them in? I said, because I don't use it. I use it, especially in New York. There's not enough room, right, for us. All the kitchens are small. And unplug it. I unplug it. So what I say to people, at the very least, when you're not using it, unplug it. At least you'll minimize those emissions. But as long as it's plugged in, it's emitting. And what that does is it reduces your vibrational frequency every time you go past it. It's toxic. And they know it. The scientists know it. But, of course, with everything that's going on, as we know, health was not in there. Our health was of no concern to them. It was profits before people.
Oh, absolutely. They believe in creating customers.
Yes, exactly.
You know.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's go into a little bit about my area. Here,
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of retirees in Mesquite, Nevada. We're in the middle of the Mojave Desert. It it's well over 100 degrees most of the time in the summer for at least 3-4 months. What are some good options? Our very, we have some great locally grown produce here, just over the border in California and southern Arizona. There's a lot of cauliflower and broccoli that are grown along there. Here we have a lot of melons, watermelon, cantaloupe, and a lot of nut trees. We have some almonds and pistachios.
Lovely.
Are
Lovely.
those what are the health benefits of our native foods here to us?
Absolutely. This is one of the secrets of the ancient Greeks. They ate everything that came from nature that was close to them. Okay, and it was almost essentially saying, God Creator was saying to them, "That's what you need to survive." Now, what a lot of people don't realize, and then I'll get back to your point specifically, is there was ancient Greeks that ate just fruit, nothing else but fruit, and they lived to beyond 250 years old. Okay, as additional things were added to the diet, so then they added vegetables and fruit. Kind of, the age came down a little bit, but not much. As soon as meat, milk, and all that started to be introduced, the age came down again. So really the point that I'm making is always eat what is locally, because it hasn't traveled that far to get to your plate, and therefore it's packed with maximum nutrition. So always opt for those. Again, everything that you've just said to me is beneficial in terms of, we've just covered the different colors of our chakras. Okay, very important each day that we eat or try to eat the rainbow of colors. Okay, every single color, fruit, vegetable, herb, is telling you what it heals. So example, if you're eating greens today, and that can be herbs, that could be the broccoli that you said, greens detoxify. Why? Because anything green has the blood, our blood is red, the blood of plants, green plants, is chlorophyll. So once you put that in your body, it cleanses your blood. It detoxifies you. Okay? Great way to detoxify, especially cilantro. So melons come in different colors. They come in the orange, they come in the greens. Watermelon comes in the red. And again, eating the different colors helps. For example, oranges and yellows are packed with vitamin C. They're also very good in terms of eye health, reduce breakdown and aging of the body. Okay, I mean, they're all packed in antioxidants, by the way, and boost the immune system. But I'm just specifying some particular additional things here. So, for example, then we go for the reds. Okay, reds are very important for heart health and good for joints. Okay, or your reds, your purples and your blues, like your blueberries and beet,
Mulberries.
yeah, mulberries, things like that. Exactly. They they are they have the biggest content of antioxidants of any fruit and vegetable. So they are good for everything, from cancer, everything, every disease you can think of, they're packed with antioxidants to reduce that. Pomegranate, whatever, there's just an array. And then we have our white, anything white, whether it be mushrooms, the banana inside, of course, is white. They're really good for balancing hormones, okay? Again, all of them have antioxidants, all of them boost the immune system, all of them are anti-cancerous and whatever, but these are some of the key things that these colors do. And that's why it's important to really look at the rainbow of colors and make sure that you're incorporating one of those colors. And it doesn't matter what fruit and vegetable it is, as long as it's close to you where you are located.
Right. Let's talk a little bit about CBD. I do, because we're both into the hemp work.
Yes,
I have
yes.
been a huge proponent for hemp for the longest time, and being a home gardener as I am, I know the sustainability and the growth potential of hemp. And
Mm.
hemp is actually been known. They did a study back in like 2009 or something like that. Chernobyl, where they had all that radiation poisoning in the land and everything, they grew hemp, and the hemp actually absorbed the radiation out of the ground, and it healed the soil.
Mhm.
So, what are some of our particular health benefits from the hemp and the CBD and the hemp oil products? What
Okay,
can you add to?
I'm going to take you back to ancient Greece because that's my area of expertise. And hemp oil and CBD hemp oil were the two major things that I incorporated in my health every day for healing. And that was because I discovered them in ancient Greece. So in ancient Greece, we're talking about thousands of years ago, they used CBD oil not just for cosmetics and face and what have you. They used it to heal a lot of ailments. They also used it with their horses because don't forget, the ancient Greeks were in a lot of battles, the Romans, the Persians, and their prized possession and prized pet was their horse. So they used it for the cuts and the bruises. They bathed them in the leaves and the oil. Okay, so it's very good to bathe, but most importantly of all, they use CBD hemp to lift their vibrational frequency, clear their pineal gland, to connect to God Creator, to get downloads of the information that they needed and the answers to the questions. How do you think in ancient Greece these people were able to get the A to Z of healing benefits of every fruit and vegetable with no laboratory or anything like that? How is that possible? How were they able to get all the secrets to astronomy, to build the Parthenon, to build those buildings with none of this modern technology? How do you think all that happened? How they got the knowledge? This was not only the diet, but as part of the therapy, one of the therapies that they practiced was CBD hemp therapy. Additionally, they used hemp to make clothes, beautiful clothes. And the ancient texts describe them as having the texture of satin. They were beautiful and glossy, uh, ornamental garments that they wore, the aristocrats of hemp. And they preferred that. Why? Because it was good for the body. Your body absorbs toxins. So when you have beautiful natural things such as organic cotton and hemp clothing, you're lifting the vibrational frequency of your skin and your body. So to me, discovering that my ancient ancestors used that made sense that I incorporated ASAP into my life as soon as I became ill. So it was essential. It was a no-brainer for me. And I continue to take it as part of my maintenance. Now, another thing people don't know is that CBD oil has a vibrational frequency. Everything has a frequency vibration on a scale from, some things have negative, minus vibrations, so we're talking about our microwave food, our cooked food, pretty much down the bottom of the scale. And then we move up. I don't know if your viewers and listeners know, but CBD oil vibrates on the vibrational frequency of unconditional love. That has been proven. It's a fact, and that is the vibrational frequency that we need to get to ascend and heal. I'm
And
sorry, I
that
interrupted.
is specifically the oh, no, 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 not at all. That's specifically the CBD,
Oil. Yes,
though, not the THC portion, right? So you're not talking about going out there and smoking a joint and being able to do this. You're talking about CBD and THC vibrate differently, don't they? They vibrate at different frequencies,
well,
correct?
yes, I'm talking about the oil form, okay? And it doesn't matter whether it has THC or not. And the reason why I say that is because the CBD oils have a ridiculous, not even 1% THC component. So you're not going to get that high. However, if you're doing the smoking thing, people do it for the wrong reasons. They're smoking to get high and escape and forget about their problems and what have you. That's ridiculous. Okay, it doesn't do anything. However, the ancient Greeks did also smoke very small proportions of the hemp plant, but it was controlled environment to help them elevate to a higher level of ascension, okay, to go beyond 5D and 6D, all right? A lot of people think we only have 5-dimensional frequency. No, there's 6, there's 7, there's 8, there's 9, 10, 11, 12. We have a long way to go, okay? 5D is just the beginning. So, yeah, so they did use that, but as I said, it was controlled and it wasn't, having drunken parties and getting high, so to speak.
I get it. Oops, excuse me. Hang on. You go ahead and keep talking about it. I'm going to mute my mic for a minute because my dogs are going.
Yes, yes. Well, I guess I can talk about pet health as well, given that I can hear your dog. Also very important. I get a lot of people that say to me, my dog's got illnesses. What can I do? Or they've got a very anxious pet, or suffers anxiety, or has all sorts of illness. And when they actually put them on the CBD oil, or give them, dog treats, they notice a tremendous difference of healing, and they're more mobile, and they're sleeping better, and they're not as anxious. So, that's another thing. People could be giving it to their pets as well. It just doesn't just benefit us. I mean, I said the example of horses because in ancient Greece, as you can imagine, that was their mode of transportation, and that was their number one pet, so to speak. So, yeah, so it benefits everybody, every living thing that's moving can benefit from that.
Well, I definitely have given my dog, I've got a dog who is pretty anxious, and he's got separation anxiety and all kinds of stuff. And he gets the CBD every day. And I have noticed an incredible difference in his demeanor.
Yeah,
He's barking now because obviously somebody
yeah,
went by the house, and that's his job.
yes,
So,
yes. Yeah, which
but
is good. Which is good. It's good. We need to encourage them when they do that. Yes. So essentially, it's amazing. And I always say to people, if this oil has so many benefits, why has it been suppressed? And my answer to that is because healthcare is not in the business of people healing. It's in the business of sick care. Okay, if everybody got onto it, they wouldn't need doctors. And as I said, I've been ill-free now for like over 20 years. Those days are behind me of illness and in and out of hospital, and because I maintain my regime.
yeah, I certainly have found myself in the last year worrying, well, not really worrying so much, but being more concerned and a lot more aware of
Hmm.
my health, both spiritual and physical. So this is a journey, and meeting you and others like you have really benefited my journey this last year. I mean, I've watched quite a few of your videos, and your recipes are awesome. I definitely suggest some of you get on YouTube and watch some of Maria's videos, look at some of her recipes. I've tried them, they're dynamite. They really are. And
Oh, thank you.
the things that you say, the I've always felt myself that, from the time I was a little child, I have not been a huge meat eater because something in my head said, God put us in the Garden of Eden. He put us in a garden. He gave us domain over the animals, but to care for them, not to slaughter them. And I always knew somewhere deep inside that we were meant to be vegetarian
Hmm.
and fruit eaters. You
Yes.
know, it's so to speak. And I noticed that eating organic, eating more fruits and meat has improved my health. I don't feel as old or as bad as I used to a year ago. So,
Absolutely. And it actually, when
I,
you eat a high vibrational diet, it actually reverses your age. Like when I tell people what my age is, they do not believe me.
okay. Can you maybe talk a little bit more about the meditation part of it? How would somebody, say me, who
Mhm,
is just starting on that journey? Meditation
mhm.
seems like such a daunting thing. We don't really know how to
Yeah,
do it. What do you do? How did you start? Because I know everything takes little baby steps.
absolutely.
What is a good way for somebody like me to start on a regimen?
Okay. Um, when I started to meditate, I found it very challenging because I had a lot of distractions, and I would be lucky if I could actually sit still for 1 minute. you know, I would have all sorts of things in my mind distracting me and so on. Now I've actually become a professional. Meditation takes many forms, okay? You do not have to go to a meditation studio to meditate. You do not have to put on a guided meditation on to meditate. What I do is I put a piece of music with no words that I find pleasant in the background, and you can either sit like we're sitting now, or you can lie down and just try and remove everything from your mind and focus. How can you do that? I always have beautiful flowers in my bedroom, so I focus on the flowers and I start looking at them in great detail and saying, oh, look at this and look at the color, and isn't that amazing? And what happens when you focus your mind on one thing, all the chatter of the past and the future disappear, and you're in the present, because meditation is all about being in the present. Okay, so also very important, before I meditate, I do a prayer. The prayer is the asking. Okay, we're asking God Creator for what it is that we want, and it may be, please help me heal my pain, whatever it is. Okay, I don't know what it is you ask. You need to pray before you do meditation. So the prayer is the asking. The meditation is the sitting still and the receiving of the solutions or the answers. That's all meditation is. Now, you may start and be able to do it for 5 minutes. That's fantastic. Then what happens, and what I do is I make a date in my appointment, a date and time every day, and I say meditation time, and I just flag half an hour. That's in my schedule, it's in my planner. Okay, that's a good way so that you actually get consistency happening. Make an appointment with yourself, you deserve it. And start with 5 minutes. Okay, now very important when you're playing music in the background to make sure that it is 432 hertz. Okay, when you begin, that is the vibrational frequency of calming, peace, and agape. Okay, some vibrational frequencies such as 430 hz avoid. They're actually evil and satanic. They're there to program your mind for evil. Okay, there are just some frequencies, and people will learn these as they go on, that we just should not be playing when we're meditating. They have the opposite effect. And really, don't punish yourself when you cannot sit still for more than a minute or more than two or more than five. Forgive yourself. It's okay. I couldn't do it. Now I can do it for half an hour. I can do it for an hour. I can do it for 2 hours. To be quite honest with you, I could do it all day. I could do it all day. And that's when the downloads happen. They may not happen straight away in terms of the answers coming, may not happen the first time, but it will happen. Second, third, fourth. I don't know, but they come.
So when you meditate, also, what it sounds like is it would be a good time to incorporate several different therapies maybe during your meditation. You could do the aromas, the music, the colors with the plants or whatever it is that you like around you. So, I mean, all of those would also help increase that frequency, those vibrations.
Exactly. And that's why it's a circle with rings. because everything is connected. Okay, it's not separated. You cannot separate food from therapies. You cannot separate meditation from therapies, prayer from, do you see how everything needs to happen together? I'm not saying every single thing. I'm not saying to people go out and do salt therapy and do that would be ridiculous. You know, introduce one thing. So for example, aromatherapy, I always light a candle. You know, while I'm going to meditate, I light a candle so I can set the mood. You know, I might sort of purify and burn a little bit of sage. You know, sage is good. You know, I'm talking about the herb sage, dry sage, burn a little bit of that and do a bit of cleansing. And always I'm incorporating aromatherapy. You know, I have a little, one of those things that, I forgot what they're called, that squirts out, you know, beautiful steam of the oils. And I get that happening. So if I want calming, I'll use lavender. Every single oil lifts the vibrational frequency and creates a particular mindset. So look how many therapies we've just incorporated there, including meditation and prayer, all in one sitting. And always end your meditation with gratitude. That is, I'm thankful and grateful that I have been able to sit here for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 1 minute, and be able to do this and thank the creator always. I always thank the creator and say, thank you, creator God, you know, for being present with me during this meditation. Thank you for the answers that I got. If you didn't get any answers, you can say, I'm still thankful and grateful. And I look forward to the next session of sitting here with you. And I will be open to receiving what it is that I need to know.
I have a question now, since you are an expert at ancient Greece. You mentioned one creator, one God. The ancient Greeks had several gods. Where does that play into? Is it one creator, or do we have a lot? What's going on?
Interesting. Yep, a lot of people think, well, there was two groups of Greeks. There was the ones that believed that there was one God, like your Pythagoras and so on. And there was the ones that believed that there were many gods and worshipped them. This is what I'm going to say, the view that I believe, which is the ones that believed in the one God that they called monad. They also recognized the other gods. And I'll tell you why. Because each of those gods represented what each of us individually needs to respect and attain. What do I mean by that? Goddess Aphrodite is teaching us that we need to strive and ascend and introduce Agapi, unconditional love, every day in our lives. So she was there to be looked at as a reminder. Okay. Um, then of course we have the goddess Athena. Okay, the goddess Athena was the goddess of war and wisdom. Okay, it's not an accident. The goddess Athena was trying to say to us that yes, you have an internal war that's happening within you. However, with the wisdom from the creator, you can win it just like I do. Okay. And she also provided, by what she was wearing, the ascension secrets that we need to ascend. Okay. That was her role. Poseidon. Poseidon was all about the water, the sea. He was a reminder of how much we need water, because we are water. So we need to respect water and respect that it is an energetic thing. It has energy and it's there to heal us and also provide salt, seafood, whatever else. So therefore we need to respect it. So the reason why they assign gods is to give everybody equality. So all those things that they represented, whether it be nature, because of course there was, Dionysus, the wine god, you know what I mean? They also had gods for, foods and whatever. So really they were saying we need to respect one another. So just like we are a form of God within, we have God within, okay, we have godliness, we have the Holy Spirit, okay, we also equally need to respect nature. So therefore we have put nature onto God's standing. Okay, and a lot of these people, my interpretation is we're really ascended masters. Okay, so there's one God, but then beneath that there are your archangels, your ascended masters, which you could also call gods. Okay, why? Not the God, but a formal God because they've ascended to such a high level of godliness and purity.
Okay. That explains a lot, because it's very confusing for some people who may get into, reading about the ancient Greeks and the study of a lot of gods. But God put nature here for us. Why shouldn't he expect us to respect it all?
Absolutely.
Is
And
there any?
they put it on a pedestal. Basically, the gods were putting these things on a pedestal for us to pay attention and respect them.
Absolutely. So, when you're okay, I have heard the expression that we are all spirits. We're not humans seeking a spiritual experience. We are spirits living a human experience. And I just heard you say that we all have that power, that godliness within us. We are all part of our Creator.
Exactly.
And through the ascension, and I've heard a lot of talk about 3D and 5D. Can you explain the difference? I hear a lot of talk of us. We've been living a 3D world. We're ascending into a 5D. Can you explain to me and to my viewers, what is that?
Absolutely. And I can actually relate it back to the Bible as well, because the Bible speaks about all of this, but speaks about it in code and by examples that Jesus Christ gave. So when we're talking about 5-dimensional frequency, okay, we're talking about Christ consciousness. Okay, this whole ascension that's happening is the revelations is playing out where God is sifting the wheat from the chaff. Okay, the wheat is the 5-dimensional frequency. The chaff is the 3-dimensional frequency. Now, what's 3D? What's 3D? 3D is basically people that live in fear, they don't believe, they have doubts, they're depressed, basically anything that doesn't feel good. So if you're not feeling joy and total agapi, unconditional love, and for any one moment you feel any of those emotions, you're in 3-dimensional. Okay, now how can I relate this really easy back to the Bible? When Jesus Christ said to the disciples, cast your net, like they'd finished fishing, they didn't want to go back out to fish, and Jesus Christ said, no, go out and cast your nets. Anyway, they believed and they went out. But where did he tell them to cast their net? He told them cast. Exactly. So the right brain is your Christ consciousness 5-dimension. It is the side of the brain that is all about agape, joy, basically all those. I'm just shifting because the sun's there. All the wonderful,
Creativity.
all of that.
Yes.
There's no control, there's no ego. It's all about community, it's all about we, it's all about humanitarian, all those things, which are good, compassion, good things, compassionate, good deeds in action, gratitude, all of that. When we're talking about the left side is the ego. It's where all the evil happens. It's all about me. I don't care about anybody else as long as I get my way. It's miserable. It's depression. It's just all those really unfavorable things. Okay, and that's why if you look in the Bible, and it's not just that passage, there are many. Cast to the right. It's always about the right. And if you look at anything of unfavorable, it's on the left. Okay. And that's how our brain was created. So 5D Ascension is all about getting us to go from the left to the right, which is Christ consciousness. It's unity. We're all one. As the ancient Greeks said, we are all one. Where we go one, we go all. Okay. The ancient Greeks spoke about it. And now it's taken us God knows how many thousands of years to get it together and understand it again. We forgot what the ancient Greeks said went down the left road, the wrong road. And that's what happens with our mind. Sometimes we go to the left, but we've got to use the therapies that they practiced in ancient Greece, whether it be aromatherapy, affirmations was a big therapy that they practiced, to cast your net back to the right side of the mind, and to get to that place of Agapi. How do we do that? It's all of these things that I went through really briefly. All of these things will help you get to the right side of the brain, which is the 5-dimensional, which is really, and this is why I wear this is the Christ consciousness. That's what this represents. Okay. And then I also wear this, which is my Maccabee body, which is my crystal rainbow body, which is where I want to get to. I want to get to my crystal light body so I can be able to enjoy, as they did in ancient Greece, telepathy, and be able to communicate that way. Okay, so that's, a whole different level above 5-dimensional frequency. That's where you get your true crystal body.
Do you have any secrets on how to give unconditional love to some people who you just want to strangle?
Uh, can I say that that's a challenging one? What I do, because there's a lot of people at the moment that are testing me and testing my patience. I have to admit, I like to be honest, that yesterday, and it has not happened to me for a while, there was one person that really pulled my trigger, and I kind of exploded, and then I had to kind of pull myself back, and I realized there was something that I needed to heal, and B, I really needed to get away from the left, because they were ego, and they were trying to drag me down the ego, the evil side, because that's where they're at, and I had to kind of drag myself to the right. So always what I do after an incident like that is I'm always the first to apologize, first of all. Secondly, I immediately start praying for them and send them love. And I surrender them to God and say, God, please deal with them, because it's not my job to fix people. It's not my job to fix toxic people, to fix dirty people, to fix. Do you know what I'm trying to say? It's not our job. It makes it very clear in the Bible that it's not our job. Our job is to surrender it to God, to let Him deal with them. And that's where their karma comes into play. Okay. So there's karma that comes back to them as well, because as the ancient Greeks said, do unto others as you do unto yourself. They called it the golden rule, and the same rule is in the Bible. So I release them, but I do pray for them. Very important that we never seek revenge, and that we never, ever mean harm on anybody. Okay, because if we do that, that comes back to us. I mean, I must say sometimes I do vent, and for example, when I see what's happening to our children, I get very, very upset. And you will hear me saying, that's not fair, God, what are they doing to our children? Those people should be dead. But in that case, there isn't a karmic thing attached, because the Bible makes it clear that if you touch one of these innocent children, it's like putting a stone around your neck and drowning. So in actual fact, I'm not doing anything sort of revengeful or hurtful. I'm basically just repeating what's in the Bible. So it's all about perspective and balance. But, I've become conscious enough to acknowledge, yep, that happened. What am I going to do now to get straight to the right brain? And what have I learned from it? Always I say, sometimes certain things are teaching us things about ourselves, certain people. They may be teaching us patience, tolerance. So there's always something to be learned. But the best thing is to surrender them, especially toxic people that are stuck in 3D. Oh, my God, I am surrounded with people here in New York that are absolutely clueless, no common sense, believe all this mask and everything that's going on, and really give me dirty looks because I'm not wearing a mask. And I've become immune to it. If you want to give me dirty looks because I'm not wearing a mask and walking down the street, so be it. I surrendered it to God. I don't take it personally. And I send them a prayer and I say, God, help them. They are so messed up. in the brain and so left brain that they cannot see the truth. They cannot see the truth. They're on the left satanic side. That's their, dominant side, the satanic. The left is also where the god of hell is. The right is the god of heaven. The left is the god of hell. People don't realize there are two gods, the god of hell, which is the three-dimensional and below, and there's the god of heaven, which kicks in at 4D, which is the awakening, and above. And most people don't realize they are worshiping the god of hell every day, and they don't even know, and they call him God.
That's scary.
Yes.
But I know where I'm at in that whole perspective. So definitely not worshiping that God myself. So, okay, let's just wrap it up here. I appreciate your time, Maria. You are just an absolutely fascinating individual. I just love watching your shows, listening to you. Again, I'm going to put some of Maria's, some of her links and everything in the comment section once we close out the show on my Facebook page. So you guys can go and read her books or watch some of her cooking shows and stuff. Let's just wrap this up. When we discuss certain types of diet, I mean, the ancient Greek and everything is wonderful and healing the mind, body, and soul. But talking about just the food portion of it, is a Mediterranean diet or a Greek style diet what we should probably more focus on? Is that one of the most beneficial?
Absolutely. And there has been recent research that actually put Greece #1 as the best travel destination for vegan and vegetarian dishes and the healthiest cuisine. So the Greeks are coming back, and I see a lot of the other cuisines, like the Italian and so on, they're going down. They're going down. Why? Because the Greek cuisine is based on high vibrational frequency food. So if you look at the Mediterranean diet, what a lot of people don't realize is the original Mediterranean diet is the diet on the island of Crete. That's where it started. So that's the Mediterranean diet, Crete. All the other countries came after, okay? And what they found that was so healthy is that they eat predominantly high vibrational frequency. So what's on top of the list? It's herbs, spices. It's things like honey is used as a sweetener. It has fruit and vegetables. So we are eating predominantly vegan. A lot of people think we eat lamb every day and seafood every day. No, 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 no. Lamb is for Easter, Christmas, and celebrating. Okay, we do not have lamb and meat every week on our table. Okay, if you're living on a Greek island such as Crete, you're probably more likely to have fish and seafood, given that it's surrounded by water. And of course, when they have grains, they have them. Okay, but they're whole grains. Okay, so it's whole wheat, not the white flours and the white rices and all that sort of white crap, which is, low vibrational frequency. And of course, they have a lot of things such as lentils. Again, pulses, as we call them in Australia. I just forgot the American way of saying it. I go a bit blank and in Australian mode. So that's what they eat. So as you can see, it's predominantly plants in nature. If you look at all of that's their diet. And I'm not saying to people don't eat meat or don't eat fish. I mean, what I do is my choice. Have it, but adopt the Mediterranean diet, not every day. And as you can see in the Mediterranean diet, there's no food coming from a manufacturing plant.
No, definitely not.
Nothing. Zero. There's no sodas. There's no white sugars. It's honey, or it's grape must, or maple syrup if you're in Canada. Those natural sort of, sweeteners that you can get from nature, or stevia. So, there are other alternatives that we can use, or coconut sugar is another good one. I say to people, switch the white sugar for coconut sugar. Delicious.
And does coconut sugar taste like coconut?
No, It tastes
Yeah.
like normal sugar, and you use the same quantity. And I always say to people, when you're baking things, just switch the white sugar for coconut sugar. Do you know that no one can tell the difference? No one. You do not get the coconut. Put it in your coffee. So do you see that that's a step in the right direction towards the Mediterranean diet, where you're having a better type of sugar, still getting the benefit of the sweetness, but not using the processed white sugar. And some of that sugar beet is genetically modified, so you do not know where that white sugar has come from. So yeah, so it's about making conscious switches. So yes, the Mediterranean diet is amazing for that reason. And let's not forget, they eat local. So the people in Crete are having the stuff that's grown in Crete. Do you know what I mean? They've learned, and therefore they're getting maximum nutrition because it's close and it hasn't had to travel very far by
Right.
way of transportation. So yeah, so that's, yeah, so absolutely for that reason, because that's what they eat. And that was the diet that I was raised on the Greek island of Psara with my grandmother. And to be honest with you, we only had meat twice a year, and it was goat. Why twice a year? Because I love my goats. I used to milk them every day. We loved our goats, and we would call the priest to do a prayer over the goat before it was sacrificed, and it was only for Easter or Christmas. We never ate meat any other time. That's the real Mediterranean diet. And because I lived on an island and my uncles were fishermen, we did have at least once a week we had seafood. So it may have been octopus, whatever, it may have been lobster, sea urchin, whatever they brought in that day. And the rest of it was really fruit, vegetables, and pulses. And of course we made our bread and we made our yogurt. So that was it.
Well, thank you so much for sharing all of your knowledge and your wisdom with us. I appreciate it. I hope that everybody can benefit from some of your years and years of experience. I know that it's been a journey for you. It's been a long journey, but a very beneficial one.
Yes, I could never understand why I went through so much pain for the majority of my life, and illness. And, as God the Creator said to me, it was because I was preparing you for your journey to help others. And if you had not gone through everything that you had gone through, how could people relate to you? And the reason why you had to go through what you got through was for you to come up with this, so that you can help people follow that diet and follow the diet that I followed that healed. So basically, I became a medbed and healed myself. I did not need or do not need to go into a medbed. And as a consequence of that, my age also reversed. As my consciousness rises from 5-dimensional frequency and above, I find that my body has shed the old skin. Not that I had any wrinkles on my face, but on other parts where I had, they're all gone. So this is really the way to reverse your age and heal yourself completely.
Good to know. A lot of people do believe that. I used to work for a vegan company, and
Mm.
the man who owned it started the company simply because he did that same thing by diet, food, and eating, just eating what we're supposed to eat. He healed a lot of his ailments as well. Well, thank you,
That's
Maria.
right.
I
Thank
will
you.
see you,
Thank you. Thank you.
I will see you Friday. Are you going to be on the call Friday?
Yes, absolutely. Oh, God, I had to think about what's on Friday, because on Friday I also have my live show. So I was wondering, what are we talking about? Yes, absolutely.
Okay. And
So
everybody,
thank
you
you.
heard her. She's got a live show coming Friday. So tune in. Would you mind giving us your link to whatever channel it is that you'd like us to?
Yes, absolutely. I can. Do you want me to email that to you? It's the Quantum Light Codes super channel.
I have that.
I
Okay.
thought, Yes, yes. So it's just on that channel. And also, just to let people know, on that channel, I actually do have videos that deal with high vibration food, high vibration mind, and high vibration spirit. So if people can look at those 3 videos, they will get a lot of what we've discussed today and practical examples that they can then take notes and adopt whatever resonates with them.
And Maria, during her live shows, is always glad to answer any questions that any of her viewers come up. I know she puts time aside to check out her comments and answer any questions, so she's real good about that. So thank you, Maria. I will see you on
Thank you,
Friday.
Terry.
You have a blessed and wonderful rest of your day.
You too. God bless everybody. God bless. Thank you.
God bless. Good night. Oh. Okay, it ended. Okay, so. Oh my gosh, my computer is just. Sorry guys, I'm trying to turn this off. My computer froze.